In the 35 years that I've been in business, I've lost a lot of customers. And there have been times when I was disheartened, I was discouraged, I questioned myself. To another episode, and in this episode I want to talk to you about value. This episode is extremely important. It's so important that I'm doing something that I normally don't do. I usually give these videos just from what's in my mind and in my heart, but the subject is so relevant, so serious that I took down a few notes because I want to make sure that I cover the key points for you. And here's the premise. Have you ever lost a customer? I have lost customers many times. In the 35 years that I've been in business, I've lost a lot of customers. And there have been times when I was disheartened, I was discouraged, I questioned myself. Am I in the right business? Am I doing the right marketing? Am I servicing the customer the best? All of those questions that one has about themselves, I too have had those questions about myself. And so I want to talk to you about why a customer goes away from you and what is your response to that event. I'll start with, well, first of all, I'm going to tell you that my biggest fan in the world is in the room with me today. That's my puppy Luxor the Rhodesian Ridgeback, Luxor the Magnificent. So hopefully he won't interrupt our video here today. But I'm reminded of Michael Jordan's quote where he says, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and I've missed. I failed over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." I think that's one of the greatest quotes about failure that is out there. And of course, Michael Jordan's record speaks for himself. But could you imagine for a moment if after missing a game-winning shot, if Michael Jordan went to the locker room and he talked himself down, "I'm not any good at this. This game's not for me. Those refs suck. My teammates didn't help me out." If he beat himself up, no, we can't imagine Michael Jordan doing that because of the results that he's produced. Could we? Now, a few days ago, I had a student contact me, and she had an issue, and this student lost 2 clients in one day. She was distraught. Now, she was beating herself up. She couldn't understand why she lost these clients. And from all appearances, from all conversations that I've had with this student, she does great work, high quality work, responsive, very in touch with her customers, has great relationships with her customers. But you know what? Every once in a while, stuff happens. And it happened to her. And so she needed a reset. She needed to be reminded of where really is the value in her service. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Where is the real value in what you do as a product or who you do it for? Well, there's not a perception of value at some level is why a customer leaves. At some level, their expectations weren't met, or they had unreal expectations. And as I said a minute ago, sometimes stuff just happens, and circumstances do not conspire in your favor with a customer, and so they leave. The key, though, is to evaluate the real reason behind, the real source of your value. I'll tell you what it's not. The real source of your value is not your product. It's not your competitiveness in the marketplace. It's not your uniqueness. It's not your price. It's not the benefits that you pitch out to a customer or to the marketplace. It's not that you've differentiated yourself or separated yourself or made yourself unique. Actually, your real value in the marketplace is none of those things, individually or collectively. They might be able to participate in your value, but when we talk in a minute about the real source of your value, you'll see how these things will bubble forth as positive. The real source of your value is, you ready for this? How you see yourself. Do you see yourself as a person of value? Let me illustrate it to you this way. If you don't see yourself as a person of value in the marketplace, if you question things like, can you produce a product that will benefit the marketplace? If you question yourself like, can you stand behind your product? Are you smart enough to deliver a product to the marketplace that will be absorbed? Any of these kinds of questions is actually a question of your own personal value. And when you're a person of value, or when you see the value in yourself as an individual and as a person, then everything in your business and in your business life changes. You become more creative. You are able to demonstrate what I've called in these videos entrepreneurial genius. Just ideas bubble forth, creativity bubbles forth, solutions bubble forth. You have a tendency to roll with the punches. So when you miss a shot, when you lose a customer, when you don't get a sale, when something goes amiss in your business, you're able to get right back up in the game because you're able to roll with the punches because you know the real source of your personal value. You tend to be more solutions oriented, and you're in an environment where the evaluation of what happened is easier to do so that you can improve your business and go about your business. The value that you have as a person affects all areas of your life. Now we're talking about your entrepreneurialism right now and your business, but when you see yourself truly as a person of value, in other words, your inner workings, your inner being is valuable on this planet and in this universe, then this affects all areas of your life. It affects your business, it affects your family relationships, it affects your intimate relationship with your lover, wife, spouse, significant other, your relationships with your friends. It affects your community involvement, the level of community involvement, the depth with which you participate in the community. It affects your health. It affects all areas of your life when you really consider yourself a person of value. A person of value goes way beyond any of these extracurricular activities like business, family, health, friends, community, etc. So how do you highlight your own value? Well, here's a few points that I have here for you. So in order to highlight your own value, the first thing is when you get a challenging situation, you've lost a customer, you've lost a friend, a relationship is broken up, there's something that challenges you to question your own value, feel into what you're experiencing. So that means just own the feelings. And what are those feelings? Is it a feeling of self-worth, worthiness? Is it a feeling of you're being left behind? Is it a feeling that you don't have the value? Is it a feeling of loss of love? Whatever those insignificance, not intelligent, whatever those feelings are, just take a moment and feel into, own what you are feeling. And then separate the event from you. Separate the event from your value. Separate the event from those feelings. Understand that the feelings are what you have put together. Your value is not determined by a customer, a friend, a family member, a lover, your community. Your personal value is not their responsibility. It is not in their charge. it is up to you. Your value is determined by how you feel about yourself. Now, this is a big subject, but for brevity's sake for this video, just know that you and you alone determine the value of your life, your personal worth, your personal value. And everything springs forth from that. When you have the priority in your life to own your own personal value, that you are a person of value, that you are a person of worth, that you are a good person, and that these extracurricular things that happen, they are not a symbol of who you are. Especially if you're the kind of person that is, attentive and mindful and conscientious and a hard worker, and you have all of those things going on for you. When an event like that takes place, that is not you. That does not define you. You are still a person of value. And when you have this priority in your life, everything else improves. Your money, your health, your love, and your happiness and your joy. So I took a personal development issue, the worth that you feel for yourself, the value that you feel for yourself, and I applied it to the entrepreneurial world because it is so directly related. When things are going well, when you're making the money you want to make, when you're making the impact that you want to make in the business world or in your community, it's because you feel really valuable inside. You're a person who has something of value to give to the universe. So because this is a deep subject, if you want more assistance on this, or if you'd like to have a conversation with me, go to paulmontelongo.com/strategy and set up a session with me on my calendar, and I'm happy to discuss this with you further. Just know this. Anytime you have a challenge, don't beat yourself up. Think about it, feel into it, own it, and remember that you are a person of value, and that value transfers out into the world. If you like the video, please share it, please comment on it, like it, follow me on all the social media channels, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all at Paul Montelongo. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Share it with others. Go out and make it a great day. Luxor and myself say we'll see you again.